Yes, hello. So we've got another clip here, and I'm going to be playing it through in a moment. Just briefly, though, the Atheist Experience have actually flagged 2 of my videos for copyright infringement. I've replied to that, and I have submitted an appeal, which they've read. I argue that I'm providing commentary and criticism. They have seen that, and they've now released their objections to my using their content. So they know about me, they know what I'm doing, and they're absolutely fine with it. So let's just continue then. So we've got Javier calling in, and he is saying what's the harm in belief? You know, what's the problem with believing? Because it's not going to impact on your life, so it's probably going to provide some benefits. So what is the problem with belief? And Matt is just replying to that.
Because if in fact it is not true that a God exists and you believe that there is a God, that means that your brain has gone through some heuristic process to reach a conclusion that is false. And if in fact your brain is going through a process to reach that conclusion, there's no reason to think that only that subject is affected by that process. Basically, we like to reuse things, including the heuristics we do. Today is pretty much the same as yesterday. We rely mostly on inference and induction. And if the process that led one to believe there was a God, how do you know that that's not going to lead you to believe other things?
Yeah, just a quick comment there. Most of the Christians I've known and met, and I've put this to them, they've insisted to me that it's only for religion that they use this particular heuristic, as Matt called it, or schema or paradigm, and that every other aspect of their life, they are completely 100% rational. That's the claim.
This is the reason why I advocate for skepticism. This is the reason why I want to believe as many true things and as few false things as possible. Because if my internal model of reality starts to depart from reality, how do you stop that from cascading? I'm not saying that it's okay. You know, everybody's going to be wrong about something. I'm sure Shannon and I have each been wrong about, well, Shannon's only been wrong about one thing today, but I've been wrong about probably 50 things today. But
I was wrong about with you.
Does a God belief, is it necessarily bad? No. But if in fact it's not true, then it is necessarily a problem because a brain has reached a wrong conclusion. And if it turns out that their God belief is true, then at a minimum, they're now believing something that they can't demonstrate, which is itself a problem. Having beliefs, strong beliefs that you cannot demonstrate, that itself is a problem. Hopefully that, between the two of us, hopefully we got to your answer.
Would it be the same thing as, let's see if gender dysphoria? Wouldn't it be the same thing?
Dysphoria?
No, because gender, so first of all, gender.
Now, I'd just like you to note, Shannon is very good with body language. It looks to me like she's getting ready for something.
Being separate from sex is, hang on. I don't want to have to mute you, but I will. Gender, being separate from genetic sex, presents itself in a number of different ways. One of them is gender identity, the gender that you internally.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop there because I've already clipped out Shannon's response. So we're going to go to that. I won't be there, but I'll come in at the end of the video and make a few concluding comments.
I was talking.
They're not beliefs.
They're not
beliefs. They're not beliefs, Javier. I have been dying to talk, Javier. They are not beliefs. Do I believe I am a woman? That's a legitimate question. Do I believe I am a woman, Javier?
I know you.
Do you think? I know I'm a woman. Oh, I know I'm a woman? How do I know I'm a woman? What properties do I have mentally that make me a woman?
A vagina.
Oh, I have a mental vagina? I have a mental vagina, Javier. Can you see my vagina? Do you know if I have a vagina? Stop talking. I'm frustrated with you right now because you don't want. No, it's fine. I'm going to ask him some questions. Here's the problem. This was a Trojan horse for somebody who wants to get transphobic rhetoric on the air, but I really want to make this point. Because Javier, I will mute you, so help me. Don't test me. Do not mistake my kindness for weakness. You cannot see whether I do or do not have a vagina, Javier. So what your assessment of whether or not I am a woman is not based on that because you cannot see it. You are basing it on something completely different. You're basing it on a configuration of societal standards and my personal presentation. That is what you're basing it on, along with my self-declaration to you that I am a woman. That is what you are basing it on. And that is not a mistake. And it is not a mistake when a trans person does it. It is not. So if you want to call in here again with your Trojan horse, talking about how a belief that is false is somehow equivalent with knowing who you are, as though you think it's some sort of gotcha, you picked the wrong day and you picked the wrong pony because I have no tolerance for bigots. Got it?
No, I not at all. I wasn't trying to get there. This is why I asked this specific question. Because, I mean...
Okay, so do you understand a little bit better then? Because you need to stop making the false equivalence that believing something that is false is the same in any way, shape, or form as somebody knowing who they are. You don't get to decide that.
I am Mexican, right? I cannot say I'm white, I'm black. I can't say I'm a lot of stuff I'm not.
You don't get it. You don't get it then, Javier. You do not get it. You didn't listen to a word that I said because you're trying to make another false equivalence.
Yeah. Whether or not you're Mexican is a statement of fact. But race, like gender, is a social construct. Ethnicity is not a social construct other than we are pointing to groups and determining how much you fit into there. So this is why your distraction. You see, first of all, you say you're not trying to get there. I don't believe you, and Shannon doesn't believe you, because you came in with a really simple thing about belief. And belief, by the way, is the acceptance of a proposition as true. And so you could say, here's a proposition. Shannon is a woman. Shannon believes that proposition is true. And you would be completely correct. And yet you're not talking about gender or gender identity at all, because that's separate from believing a proposition. This is about understanding and knowing how one feels about one's identity and how one wants to express it. This is not the same with regard to whether or not you happen to be genetically related to people that fit into a category of Hispanics. It's just not.
It's exactly the same. I mean, I can't identify.
No, sir.
No, it's not. Unless you're a racist, you think that there's a confluence of things that are affiliated with your race that compile who you are as a part of that race. Like a gender identity is something that there is a societal affiliate with. Is there something that there's a societal affiliate with that it is true to say about somebody who is a specific race? Because the moment that you say that, you are going into racist propaganda. That's the false equivalence.
No. It's exactly the same thing.
It is not exactly the same thing.
Here, I'm being incredibly zen today, and will continue to be. And I want to give you the best possible answers. I swear to God, if you say it's the same thing one more time, I will curse you out and hang up on you. So let's avoid that. And I suggest that you call in to the Transatlantic Call-In Show next Saturday and talk to Katie and Arden about this subject, because then you will get not only the same, an improved response over Shannon and myself, but you will get it directly from people who are trans rather than listening to a couple of cis people talking about this.
Yeah.
And since you're marching around with such monumental ignorance, both about the nature of belief and about the nature of gender and race, I'm going to save you from embarrassing yourself and being ripped apart by Shannon and the people in the chat. And I'm going to go on to another caller. If you're not familiar with how to reach out and find the Transatlantic Call-In Show, send me an email. I'm sure my girlfriend would love to talk to you. Sorry, honey.
I lost my zen.
Oh, and that wasn't for Shannon. That was for her.
I lost my zen.
It's okay.
Okay, there we are. So yes, that call went in a sort of unexpected direction, and I played, of course, through the main response, Shannon getting very angry there and admitting at the end that she lost her zen. Whether she regrets that or not, I don't know. Matt saying we better hang up on Yavier because I'm going to curse him out, and Shannon's going to tear him to pieces. Well, I think that she already did, metaphorically speaking, tear him to pieces. But what I really want to talk about is the call was going in an interesting direction, because Javier was asking, what's the problem with belief as such? And we've heard these calls before, and Matt generally says, well, apart from you not being able to demonstrate the truth of it, you are in danger of applying this standard of critical thinking to other areas of your life. Now, I would like to say about that I don't know how far that is true. I don't know whether there are any studies to demonstrate that that is the case with theists in particular. So personally, I never use that argument, and I don't know what else to say about it, because I know that I'm an atheist. I know that I've made bad decisions in life, or I know that I've reached a good critical conclusion, and through my own weaknesses, etc., I've not followed through with what I should have done. So it's very complicated. It's not just about, it's about critical thinking. It's about successful critical thinking, which, let's face it, Christians are as capable of as atheists. On the whole, probably, I think that probably is the case based on what I've observed, and I just don't know whether there is any evidence to back up the claim that you're more likely as a theist to arrive at bad conclusions in areas which are outside of your religious belief. And I say that, of course, because when you're a Christian, if you're a practicing Christian, you devote a lot of time and money to your Christianity, and if you're a Jehovah's Witness, you devote a hell of a lot of time and money. I've seen them. I've got them standing here 6 hours a day with their carts. So those are downsides. Those are downsides I would cite as a problem. The money, the time, the false hope, the potentially false hope, and the danger of holding a belief which you've got no way of demonstrating the truth of. But as for whether that impacts on your everyday ability to think critically in sort of everyday decision-making process, I don't know whether being a theist or being a religious believer impacts on that or not. So I wouldn't like to suggest that it does. I tend to stay away from there, and I always go back to other arguments, lack of evidence all the time, and all the false hopes, etc. What else to say about that? Nothing really, just very disappointed about the direction that the call went in, because I was hoping that Javier would challenge Matt a bit on that and maybe point out some of the points that I've just made. But he didn't. He brought up the gender, and as Shannon said, maybe it was a Trojan horse. Maybe his real agenda was to phone in and challenge gender identity claims, etc., which is what he did, and I suppose that he kind of paid the price for it. That's all for now. I'll be back again with another video very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.